Okay, thank you everyone for joining today. We hope you're doing well during these challenging times. I want to welcome you to the Halo Smart Sensor new release 2.2. Just to give everyone a little bit of background, when Halo was first released, we were really, we hit the market as the premier vape and THC detection device. Then with the release of 2.0 in April, we really shift focus over to security for privacy areas and all the different features as a security device. Now today, with the release of 2.2, we're shifting focus again to how do we help everyone get back to work and school, how do we help during these challenging times, and really the focus is going to be around air quality and integration with building management systems and making sure that we're addressing the problems that we face today with COVID. So with that, I wanted to welcome the presenters for today. Myself, I'm Rick Cadiz, I'm VP of Sales and Marketing for IP Video Corporation. I have Steve Rice, who's Director of Business Development, and also Jonathan Antar, who's Director of Channel Support. So we're going to turn off our videos here for the rest of the presentation. We'll come back on during Q&A, but I want to make sure everyone sees the full screen. And we are going to have a couple videos throughout the presentation for you. So a little bit about IP Video Corporation. We're founded in 1996. We're headquartered in Bayshore, New York, and our research and development is actually at Stony Brook University Seawitt Center here on Long Island. We have 5 distribution partners in the US, and we have a couple that we've just signed on internationally. We have 700 dealers, 170 which hold our platinum distinction. And we're very proud that all of our products are made here in the United States. As far as our product lines, we have AV Fusion, so that's our audio and video recording and synchronization software. That's used by police departments, by legal, by coaching, training, and is also used in teaching and school meetings. ViewScan, it's our safest and fastest concealed weapons and theft detection system. That's being used for corporations for theft and also for weapons detection system in a lot of campuses. True Security Design, that's our training division. And then Halo Smart Sensor, which we're going to talk about today, our 2.2 release. One thing on the marketing front, you'll notice that we have a new logo. The Halo has changed and now matches up to the rest of our company logos. Okay, next slide. So for those that don't know what the Halo Smart Sensor is, basically it's a multi-purpose sensor, and it's used in the market for the 6 main purposes here on the left. It's a vape and THC detector. It's a security device for privacy and common areas. It's a gunshot detector. It's an air quality monitor. It's a smart building guide. And then it's a chemical detector. Now what happens, it's an IoT device that uses artificial intelligence, and it's installed in the ceiling using power over Ethernet. Now inside the Halo, it has 12 unique sensors, and they all work together, and they capture about 1 million different data readings per day. And all those sensors work together to identify events and then eliminate false alarms. Now, when basically you set the threshold levels, we have out of the box threshold, but based on your environment, you'll set those threshold levels. And then it will set the alerts based on when those levels are reached. And then it will send text or emails or system alerts to any third party when those alarms go off. Now, there's no camera in it, and it does not do any audio recording, so it completely protects privacy. And that's a key for a lot of our environments. Next slide. So as far as signatures, each of the different sensors that are in there recognizes the unique signature from an environment, and based on the threshold settings, sends alerts to anyone in the group that you want to receive it. The thresholds can be customized and turned on or off based on your needs. And you'll see some of the ones like when we released the 2.0 security features, we added the gunshot, we added the keyword alert. Now with this release, we're really driving down on the indoor air quality. And a lot of today's conversations is going to be around that, and also building efficiency, which is under the light level. Okay, next slide. So we're very proud that Halo has won 30 industry best awards, and we're expecting more as we go forward. So those 30 awards have been on the original release of Halo, and then also our 2.0 release. The release that we're bringing out today, 2.2, we haven't put out in the awards thing. So once we start getting feedback from our customers and getting those case studies, we're going to go forward, and I expect these awards to increase. But we're very, very proud of that. Next one. So third-party integrations. Today we have over 40 third-party integrations. A lot of them are in the security space because that's where we started. So you'll see a lot of the VMS companies, so Milestone, Genetec, Avigilon, the leaders in the market. And what happens is when the Halo alerts go off, you could tie them to your camera systems. So you exactly know like when someone's coming out of a privacy area, and you could time the alert stamps in those systems to who the person was. Now, since then, when we started in security, we branched out into emergency notification integrations, networking companies, cloud management, access control. And now with this 2.2 release, we're going to see a lot more integrations on the building management side with HVAC systems and lighting systems. And the alerts from Halo will trigger those third parties. Okay, next. So as far as the new releases in Halo 2.2, first thing, we have a new user interface. Now, what's cool is it's using graphical alerts that are much easier to see on mobile devices, and it's also just a much cleaner look than what we've had in the past. The spoken keyword alerting that we released in the 2.0 now includes enhancements in different keywords that we're using for different countries. The gunshot detection, also released in 2.0, now has further testing on ranges, and Jonathan will go over that with you later. The AQI, so the indoor air quality monitoring for humidity, temperature, and also particulate sizes, and that alerts on those disease-spreading conditions and can signal your building systems to make the proper corrections. And this is really critical in this time of COVID and back to work and school. Improved security enhancements. So we had a third party came in and did like pen tests on the Halo devices and came up with recommendations on new IoT device patches. All those patches, although we passed with flying colors, there is new things in the industry that we've included with this 2.2 release. So we want to make sure that if there's existing Halos that are out there, that everybody upgrades to 2.2 to get all those latest security patches. Enhanced audio analytics, learning your environment, what is normal, and then alerting to the anomalies. So over time, and again, Jonathan will go into that in detail with you. The next thing is BACnet. So this is a new protocol integration that will talk to the building automation systems. And it's great. So if the Halo detects there's bad air quality, it can tell the HVAC system to let more air from outside to filter out the environment. Or it can alert that the filtering system is bad and needs to be changed. So a lot of interesting things, and Jonathan and Steve will go over both of those. Next thing is RTSP. So this is another way to stream alerts to your security system. So the Halo picks up an alert and can tie it right into your cameras. And then last, the vape detection enhancements. Now there's a lot of things going on in the industry, which Steve will be talking about as far as vaping and the amount of kids that are still hooked on it and the bypassing these companies have done with the legislations around vaping devices. So it's very interesting, but we've identified now masking signatures where kids try to cover up their vaping with aerosol sprays or cologne or something. We have those signatures now in Halo that will identify that someone's vaping and trying to hide it. All right, next slide. All right, so what we want to do here is, again, our biggest release with this is with air quality. We want to show you a quick video that we've done in animation on how the Halo works in the air quality as an air quality monitor.
Jack is a facility director responsible for his HVA system and building operations. He's received several concerns about the facility's air quality and its potential to spread viruses. He has been asked to provide a plan for improvement and reports to validate. Jack knows there are very expensive monitoring options available to accomplish this, but they don't meet his budget. Jack's patience was wearing thin until he discovered the Halo Smart Sensor from IP Video Corporation. Halo is an IoT multi-sensor device that installs into the ceiling and provides constant air quality, humidity, temperature, chemical, and VOC readings, and can send alerts when readings fall into designated risk levels. With the integration of BACnet, the alerts can trigger changes to the building system to correct the problems, such as letting in fresh air, changing filters, and modifying temperatures. Halo can also identify cleaning product chemical signature and can verify when a facility has been cleaned. Halo is also very economical as a multi-sensor and also can be used for building security, solving 2 facility management issues in a single purchase. Be like Jack. Protect your buildings everywhere from potential virus-spreading conditions with the Halo Smart Sensor. Reach out to IP Video Corporation and get yourself a Halo for a healthy building. Contact us at info@ipvideocorp.com or call 631-969-2601 and tell them Jack sent you.
All right, with that, I'd like to introduce Steve Rice, our Director of Business Development, to take over and go over Air Quality Index with you.
Thanks, Rick. I also want to take this time to extend a personal welcome and thanks to all of you for attending today's webinar. The IP Video continues to lead the way in providing solutions to secure and maintain healthy building environments. In an upcoming webinar series, we will be presenting how, with our thermal camera solution integrated with our ViewScan building entry portal, we will be discussing how this combined solution ensures that people coming into the building don't compromise the safety and health of the building upon entry. With that said, it is also important to make sure that the safety and health of your building is not compromised through the course of the day. With Halo's new AQI signature, we have the ability to report indoor air quality conditions based on regulated standards developed by the EPA. Consistent and methodical verification of AQI measurements can create reaction events in HVAC systems and building air systems. Studies have shown and proven that improved air quality can reduce the spread of infectious diseases, particulates, such as COVID, influenza, and others. It can also increase occupant productivity, reduce out-of-building sick days, and mitigate what is often called the sick building syndrome. To that end, Halo can also verify particulate sizes to identify that the air filters are not working properly and should be addressed and possibly changed out. In addition, some of our signatures that make up our AQI signature are also able to assist with scheduling and monitoring and documenting the sanitizing of a building. Next slide, please. But having an AQI signature as part of Halo is only part of the solution in monitoring a building's health. Once AQIs for a building have been established, there may be actions that need to be taken through the HVAC system to mitigate concerns. That is why IP Video has developed a comprehensive integration with BACnet. For those unfamiliar with BACnet, it is a communication protocol for building automation and control networks. BACnet was designed to allow communication of building automation and control systems to applications such as heating, ventilating, and air conditioning control, often called HVAC. It can also control lighting, access control, and fire detection systems. The BACnet protocol provides mechanisms for computerized building automation devices to exchange information, regardless of the specific building services they perform. Halo alerts and sensor readings can now communicate to these varied control systems in response to alerts received and effectively restore the health of the building. What is important to recognize compared to traditional sensors as depicted in the diagram that you see is that a single Halo unit can communicate to multiple input systems and controllers. Multiple Halos can communicate to multiple input systems and controllers. There are multiple sensors per single Halo communicating to BACnet. And it's important to realize our integration follows industry standard guidelines for BACnet. So why is this important to you? Well, one, it reduces the device count in a room that you need for monitoring. And less devices means better room aesthetics. And in addition, easier configuration. So the question may come up, how does this benefit you? Well, since Halo includes multiple sensors, significant reduction in infrastructure and deployment costs are possible. More importantly, using Halo with BACnet also provides a substantial ROI with regards to energy savings as better energy efficiencies can be realized. Next slide, please. So Halo has been out in the market for almost 2 years. During that time, we have received great feedback on the end user experience. So we have taken that wealth of information and designed a new interface. The Halo dashboard monitoring screen that you see here is provides a more simplified event status monitoring presentation, using color changing icons to represent event statuses. The user also has the ability to customize the dashboard configuration from 1 to an unlimited number of sensors. Currently included in this new firmware release is 22 sensor presets. The advantage now in terms of using Halo to you is a more comprehensive and holistic view of the Halo sensors, and the ability to customize that dashboard for your unique use cases. So with that now, the benefit is the dashboard provides clear indication of event status for a much quicker response to the things going on. Now, don't worry, for those of you who have grown accustomed to the original graphical interface, it is still available to you. Next slide, please. For those wanting to understand what's going on behind the scenes of a Halo device, this particular screen is showing the real-time monitoring where you can observe what the various sensors are reporting. What I would like to call out here is the AQI in the lower left with the 39 in the background of green. It is showing individual sensors that are being normalized over a period of time to give the quantitative readout that we reference with regards to the EPA standards. Next slide, please. Now, with the expanded capabilities of the Halo device, it is important to make sure configuration is kept simple. For those that are familiar with configuring Halos, the new administration interface you see here has been streamlined to make configuration of the Halo more intuitive and quicker, making it much simpler to use. Next slide, please. The world of vaping has become ever more fluid and dangerous. A Stanford University study has stated that those vaping and/or smoking are 6 times more likely to catch COVID. This study tells us pretty clearly that youths are using vapes or dual using e-cigarettes and cigarettes that are elevating their risk. And it's not just a small increase in risk, it's a big one. To accentuate the problem, vape companies are creating new products to get around all the new anti-vaping legislation. Vaping devices are becoming much more illegal drug-oriented, difficult to detect, and toxic, creating a greater number of hospitalizations. As daunting as this sounds, Halo is still staying ahead of these schemes as an effective deterrent with new enhancements to its signatures for vaping and vaping with THC being available in this release. As one example, not only are vape companies trying to outsmart the government, kids are trying to outsmart the Halo by spraying aerosols in advance of vaping to try and mask their vaping. We have come out with the new mask signature that can detect this and deter that from happening, and be able to detect it as they try to camouflage these types of activities. So in reality, legislation may find themselves one step behind the vape companies, but Halo is one step ahead of them. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Danielle so that you can now see and view Halo for privacy areas and a video on that.
Jack's company oversees security for several organizations and keeps running into issues with privacy areas. Incidents are happening in bathrooms, locker rooms, hotel rooms, patient rooms, classrooms, dressing rooms, and dorm rooms. Jack cannot put a security camera in these areas of privacy, but needs to find some economical way to help protect his customers. Jack's patience was wearing thin until he discovered the Halo Smart Sensor from IP Video Corporation. A PoE device that installs into the ceiling of these privacy areas, does not record video or audio, and sends alerts directly to security when issues are detected. Halo has a call for help feature that alerts security. Halo detects sound level disturbances like yelling and fighting. Halo detects smoke, chemicals, carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and can even tell if someone is vaping or vaping with THC. Halo can even accurately detect a gunshot and notify security what location it came from. Be like Jack. Protect your clients, staff, students, and guests everywhere with the Halo Smart Sensor. Reach out to IP Video Corporation and get yourself a Halo for all your privacy areas. Email info@ipvideocorp.com or call 631-969-2601 and tell them that Jack sent you.
All right, my name is Jonathan Antar, and I'll be talking about the improved security enhancements in the Halo Smart Sensor. So some of the features that we've added are going to be there to protect the Halo against different types of hacking or people trying to get into the device from within your organization. So you're now required to change the username and password on first-time connection. This gets rid of those default usernames and passwords that people can look up and try and access the device from. We're also requiring that the usernames and passwords have minimum requirements. So you're going to find that there are characters and numbers and letters and things like that. The username can't appear in the password. Just some of those normal requirements that you've probably experienced with many other devices. That's now going to be required in Halo as well. We've also included HTTPS for more secure external connections. We had a third-party network penetration test done on the Halo Smart Sensor, and it did not reveal any significant or exploitable vulnerabilities. And we are now compliant with California's new IoT law for device cybersecurity. So you can now be rest assured that hackers and network intruders cannot easily exploit Halo to gain access to your network. This reduces your network security risk and results in faster and more secure deployments. These security features ensure that you are securing business continuity through your Halo Smart Sensor. Next, please. We're also requesting that you install this new 2.2 firmware because it provides you with a lot of those security patches that are going to make sure that your Halo Smart Sensor is not exploitable on the network. All prior versions should be updated as soon as possible. This 2.2 firmware update at no cost is available directly from our website for download. So please make sure you navigate there, download, and upload it to all of your Halos. Next, please. In the new 2.2 firmware, Halo now supports RTSP. What that can do for you is you can now stream H.264 encoded video straight to any of those video management systems that support RTSP. What it's going to do is going to graphically represent the live dashboards through your surveillance platform. So you can actually see the graph, you can see this red, green event status dashboard, you can see the live stream of the individual sensor values. Any of those can be chosen and streamed to surveillance platforms over RTSP. What we're doing with RTSP is future-proofing your installation against changes in your third-party VMS platform. So if you have one platform and your organization decides to migrate to another platform, you can still use Halo in the new platform because we're using that common protocol. This is going to reduce that out-of-pocket cost for development that sometimes these end users are incurring. Next, please. So our gunshot detection, which was released in our 2.0, has gone through some improvements. So we're using audio analytics connected to the embedded Halo microphones, which I just want to reiterate, you cannot listen in on those microphones, and we are not recording audio. Your privacy will always be maintained with your Halo smart sensor. All calibers of gunshots can be recognized within Halo. We're using impulse audio detection technology for our recognition, giving you a 25-foot range in 360 degrees from your Halo placement. That means you're getting almost 2,000 square feet of coverage with a single Halo smart sensor. And a very important distinction, there is no recurring cost with your Halo sensors. So that's going to be something that differentiates Halo in the marketplace alone. One other big benefit, there is no other gunshot detector out there that does everything else that Halo does. So aside from getting that gunshot detection, you're also getting all the other features within your Halo smart sensor, another unique feature in the marketplace. Your total cost of ownership becomes much lower without having those recurring fees. And the way Halo operates with intelligence on the edge, you get very fast response and easy integration into third-party systems for mass notification or single pane of glass emergency response. Next, please. Let's talk briefly about our roadmap as well. If you look here, we announced the roadmap in April of this year. A lot of the items from that roadmap are already accomplished and available in this 2.2 firmware. I mean, when you look down that list, you're seeing integrations, which we continue to increase, new user interface, new keyword, BACnet, air quality, cybersecurity, RTSP, and our pilot cloud program. Coming up soon is going to be our enhanced scheduling interface, where you can schedule a lot of your different alerts and events, and dynamic threshold adjustment. We've applied machine learning to our audio analytics, but now we can apply machine learning to our different signatures so that the thresholds are learned thresholds as opposed to just input. So Halo can dynamically adjust and give you alerts based on what it's learned from your environment. And then our cloud portal that's coming out soon as well. Next, please. With that, we'd like to play a video of some testimonials from one of our 700 dealers in the US, and then a brief demo as well of Halo.
We've been working with hundreds of school districts over the past year and a half with the product, and what we consistently hear is they are having discussions with students within hours of deploying the product. So they go live and they're getting notifications within hours and are bringing students in to have those discussions. We have conversations with superintendents who have seen the decline in notifications over time. So there's a lot of notifications early on, and as they have the conversations with students and they work on the education around the harms that comes with vaping, they are seeing declines happen throughout the district. Because you're able to see the difference between vape and vape with THC, they're able to have different types of discussions with those students, and in some cases get law enforcement involved if needed, or bring their SRO in to have some serious discussions when they identify that THC. From a noise standpoint, we've been able to work with some of our districts. At a district in Ohio that had a vandalism event within their bathroom. Someone ripped the door off the bathroom stall. We were able to use the analytics around sound and their log to identify when that took place, and they were able to go and check their cameras and confront the student that caused the vandalism in the bathroom. The Help 911 is getting a lot of interest. So we've been talking to customers since April when version 2.0 came out about the Help 911 feature, and they're excited to put that to use. They're planning on going out to their students and faculty and let them know that there is the ability to if they're in a compromised situation in that bathroom, yell 911 and someone will come for assistance. From an air quality standpoint, we've reviewed hundreds of logs, real live logs from districts over the past year. And I think it's going to be surprising for some of those districts to really see how bad the air quality is within their spaces. So I think that's definitely going to gain some traction as the year goes on and we get more kids back to school.
So we put about, I want to say about 30 units or so in all of our student restrooms and staff restrooms, so pretty much all of our bathrooms that we have on campus. So it detects vape, but it also detects what kind of vape. So if it's like a tobacco vape, it'll say it's vape. If it's a vape that has THC in it, so a marijuana type vape, it'll detect that and it'll send us a notification saying it's, vape with THC. It's been super effective where it's actually cut down a lot on our calls. Obviously the students will catch on to it, so they know it's there, so they tend to not do it during campus hours, which is awesome. But really it works as a deterrent, which is awesome. But what we really benefited from was the actual counseling aspect of it. So instead of it being used as a tool to quote unquote trip kids up or trip students up, it's more of a, hey, we got you, we know you have it, we know it's been happening. What's the story behind it? Why did you start? What's happening? Is there something we can help you with? And we've actually had a really good success with students being caught with it, and our counseling team being able to counsel them pretty much out of it. And we've had students come up to us after saying, hey, you know what, we really don't want to be doing this, but it's just like smoking or anything else, it's an addiction. So we've had a lot of students come up and say, hey, I really don't want to do this. I need help. I need help. So it actually was a good eye-opening tool for us. We were aware that it was a problem on campus. We just didn't know the scale of the problem that we had on the site. So it's helped us track down a lot of that and help a lot of students out with vaping as an addiction, and then keeping the campus safer overall. Being in the beautiful state of California, we're constantly on fire in wildfire season. So air quality is a pretty big one. Concord being situated where it's at, whenever there's a wildfire, so our AQI tends to be really unhealthy. All that smoke tends to travel right into our little valley area. So we're in the process of already installing a air monitor outside, so we can know what the air is around our campus climate. But being in a 1950s building, and so a lot of that smoke will travel inside our classroom spaces and in the restroom spaces. So being able to monitor, at least for now in our restroom spaces, the plan is to eventually expand with Halo as well and install it in other strategic locations. But at least with our restrooms, knowing what the air quality is like inside the restrooms, which would then of course tell us what the air quality is possibly like inside the classroom. So just because it's bad outside, it can also be bad inside. We need to know what it is inside of our classrooms as well. And then that would dictate us either continuing on with school that day or canceling school for that day. Halo has already had a feature where it notified us in terms of loud aggression. So if it detected any loud noises in a sense, which has actually helped us deter some fights that have happened in our restrooms. With having, I believe we have a little over 2,200 students now. We're maybe at 2,250 or close to 2,300 students. The campus is a very large scale campus we're one of the largest schools that we have. So being able to have security and safety of all of our students is a pretty big concern. And we only have so many staff members. Obviously we're all outnumbered when it comes to 2,200 students. So having that extra eye, in a sense, just like a college campus with the help buttons everywhere, is a pretty big tool and a big tool for us in case something happens. So if we are at a lunch period or we're spread thin already with having 2,200 kids out at the same time, we can't be everywhere at once. So if we have these devices that can help us trigger notifications if a student does need help, and again, it's not help necessarily for a fight, but it can be a medical emergency, it can be a bunch of other emergencies, having that be able to trigger and use that as a quote unquote student panic button is a pretty big asset for the campus as well.
What you're seeing right now is a live view of a halo, and you can see the numbers are moving, sound levels, the AQI that it's showing, light levels, humidity. Right now, my air quality index is good in here, but there are times where I have doors closed and the level actually goes to yellow, which is next. It's all color coded with everything. Right now, it's tracking for gunshot detection. The help is if somebody did a verbal request for help through the device. What we're also working on is in the near future to have a SIP connector to Halo that during an emergency event, you could actually have two-way communications from it. Vape detection obviously is critical right now. THC detection if somebody's using THC. Masking is actually when somebody is trying to cover up the vape or vape with THC with sprays like body spray or different things like that. We can determine that. We can actually pick that up and give an alarm on that. Aggression detection might be a fight that breaks out or bullying or a situation where you have loud noises that were not normal. And Halo's got intelligence to it, so it learns over time to get smarter. And it knows that, as an example, in a school district, it might be noisy between 9:50 and 10 o'clock because kids are going between classes and periods. But if at 10:15 there was a loud noise in a stairway or hallway, it knows that's not normal and can create an alarm. On top of that, it has a tamper alarm. And if somebody tries to tamper with Halo, they'll get that alert. Let's see what happened with that. And then VOCs, carbon dioxide, and so on. This is the graphing screen of Halo. So this actually shows what the graph looks like. And because we've been able to fully integrate this into video surveillance systems, we're able to actually take Halo and be able to pull this screen into the video system so it can actually display as if it's another camera in the system. There is no microphone, no camera that's recording in Halo, so there's no way that this becomes a violation of anybody's civil liberties by using Halo. However, we can pull this data, which is critical, back into the video management system or integrate into many other things. If you notice, the carbon dioxide levels in the room right now are not super high, but they're actually up a little bit. You're going to see something very interesting in a few seconds. I'm going to actually put a chemical here, acetone, and I'm just going to put it in the general area of Halo. And you're going to see something very interesting happening out here. You can see how quickly Halo responds to those chemicals that are in the air and gives an instant alert and can trigger that to a command center or to a text or email to somebody. If you look over here on the dashboard, you'll notice those are red right now. So they turned red, notification of an alert. So it's pretty cool how we're able to tie those things in together. And then from here, if you go back, you can see how quickly they start to drop down. So Halo is able to really analyze the air quality very, very quickly and be able to show the changes in that air. It's just a powerful, powerful component to it.
So again, the great thing about this release, like we had with 2.0, with 2.2, you're getting all the additional air quality monitoring, the smart building integration at no additional cost. So the same $12.95 MSRP that's always been there, now you're getting all these different devices, a vape and THC detector, a security device for privacy areas, a gunshot detector, air quality monitor, smart building sensor, and a chemical detector all in one. Next slide. So now the big question is, how does Halo help get back to work and school from COVID-19? So again, just to refresh, it monitors air quality and alerts to conditions that spread diseases. It monitors air quality for particulates to ensure that filters are working properly. It communicates with the building system to let air in and also change temperature. And then it validates that areas have been sanitized by measuring the chemical signatures of the various cleaning products that are being used. And then it identifies vapors who are at 5 times greater risk to catch disease and also spread COVID by vaping. So these are all different areas and talking points that we're trying to capture here with the Halo 2.2. Next slide. So what do you do now? Version 2.2 is available for download right now off our website. Familiarize yourself with the updated documents and settings. All are listed up on the website. Upgrade to the latest firmware version if you have Halo already. Please upgrade for the new features and the security patches. reach out to your local resellers and support teams if you have any questions. And also certainly reach out to, you know, if you're a first-time customer or you have additional questions, you want to reach out to our support team, reach us at info@ipvideocorp.com with any requests. And with that, we're going to turn our cameras back on here for a Q&A session. And it looks like we have about 15. And if anyone has any additional questions, you know, feel free to put them into the chat feature. The first thing is the presentation will be available. We'll send out over the next couple of days, we'll send this out to everybody. All right, first question, is there an easier way for me to update all Halos with 2.2? And Jonathan, you want to take that one?
Sure. Yes, so we have the Halo Device Manager, or HDM tool that you can use. There is a new version of that tool as well that's released right on our website. So just right in the download section of the Halo section of our website, you can find the firmware and the Halo Device Manager tool, which can update all of your Halos at once. You search them out on the network and update that new firmware and it pushes it right out.
Next question. We have sensors in the building feeding information to our HVAC system. They're only in a few main areas. How can Halo give us air quality information in more places? So,
Want me to take that as well?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. So basically with our BACnet connection, Halo can feed all that information into the HVAC system. And what it's going to do is it's going to distribute that information in the different HVAC zones that you've got there in the building. And essentially that can create a situation where the HVAC system reacts to that information. So all those sensors feeding into your HVAC system using BACnet, and essentially you can improve your system efficiency and your overall building health with that. So.
Okay, and then we have what sensors on the Halo are supported for BACnet? Steve, you want to take that one?
So the ones that are supported are the ones, basically all of the ones that come with the Halo. So there's not any differentiation there. You can basically turn on the ones you want or turn off the ones that you don't want to be able to communicate to BACnet.
Right, and you can even add custom signatures in there, and BACnet will support any signature that Halo supports.
Yep.
All right, then how is air quality measured, and can I use the numbers for anything? So Jonathan?
Sure. So air quality, the AQI, think of it like a yardstick that runs from like 0 to 500, right? It's a number system that's developed by EPA, and the higher the number, the higher the AQI value, the higher the level of air pollution and the greater the health concern. So the HVAC systems are familiar with this number system, and you can use that number system to essentially create reactionary events in your HVAC system.
Okay. Then we've got, when will 2.2 be available, and will it support RTSP streaming to integrate into my NVRs? And hopefully we answered that for you. 2.2 is available right now on our website. Mm-hmm. And then yes, it does support RTSP, and your local integrator, or certainly reach out to Jonathan if you have any questions on how to do that. Next question. How to upgrade 2.2? Can the end user do this on their own, or is it more complicated than that? Is there a how-to YouTube that I can share? And that was from Whitney.
So we actually have new guides also on our site that walk you through the entire upgrade process. So an end user could do it if they understand some basic concepts of how to install software and things like that. But following through in that guide, the administrator guide will take you step by step through the entire process. It is actually very easy. Or using the Halo Device Manager tool if you want to do multiple.
Okay. Next one, typically in particulate monitoring, there's a pump which takes air samples from testing for particulates. The Halo sensor does not seem to have a pump to take in air samples. Can the Halo accurately measure air particulates in ppm?
So there is actually a small fan in the Halo that is intaking air. I know some of you may have those Halos and see that, hear that they are very quiet, don't make much noise. But there is a fan that actually is drawing air across all of our sensors. So similar to that pump that was talked about here, Halo does a similar process.
The next question, what certifications does Halo have? I know we have UL certification, we have CE certification. Jonathan, we
There's
just
a
got the
large
California
system, yeah.
security certification.
Yeah, there's a large list of the different certifications. If you download the sheet, like the Halo sheet from our site, all the certifications that Halo currently has are listed on that sheet. So you can actually go there and check them all out.
Yeah, so there's CEUL, ROSE, FCC, EEE. So are some of the ones that are mentioned on the spec sheet. It also has an IK10 rating to be aware of. So it really has a solid vandal-proof housing as well.
And it's platinum rated.
Yep.
All right, then we have, do you have any studies or documentation that Halo can detect the type of air quality change for COVID-19? I know I'll speak to the fact that I know we've done comparisons with all the ASHRAE certifications and the EPA certifications, and that's how we match up what Halo's doing. This is all of our pilots up to this point. We've been improving the air quality monitoring, and this now will be a mass release. So we're really looking for feedback from everyone from the marketplace. But Jonathan, anything you want to add on that?
No, that sounds good to me.
All right, are new Halos better or just software? So this is a firmware upgrade, so it is software. It's not new hardware.
Which is really important because if you already have installations in place, you're not having to retrofit or change out those Halo devices. It really is that simple as a firmware update.
The new keywords are based on country code. So like, we're using Help 911 North America. Country like Australia, which is getting big right now with vaping, they don't use 911, they use 111. So we've used, that's an example of a new keyword. Can the sensor also handle occupancy that controls lighting?
So through your BACnet connection, we can feed information into lighting systems. That's one potential integration path. When you look at the different sensors that are on Halo, if you want to look at occupancy, you can look at light level. You can look at the audio analytics and pick up sound in a room and use different things or combinations to detect occupancy in a space that can then control the lighting. What's important to identify there as well is lighting can be your lights, or it can be, systems that actually shade from outdoor, from external light coming in, and our lux sensor can help with that balance as well. So we can see light level in the room.
I think the important thing here, Rick, too, is that those of you that are resellers on the call is that we go through an in-depth training on all of this. So as you learn more about the Halo and want to get a new training or additional training, just reach out to us and we can get that scheduled, because we'll go in that to greater detail.
Next question, is there any plans to set up notifications per event type, vaping to security, temperature to maintenance? And the answer there is absolutely. You control what alerts can go to who based on your Active Directory. So you can set up the type of events to email this group or that individual, and it's totally customizable.
Right, well, that's not done within the Halo itself. What it looks like they're asking for here is if you have a vape event versus an air quality event, who does that direct that information to? And that's handled through your third-party connections, where they can route your notifications out to the right personnel. But within the Halo itself, they are grouped together. But coming outbound, you can customize your messaging so that it gets routed from the your third-party connections, or even through your email can do that. You can reroute things there.
Okay, thanks, Jonathan. All right, regarding gunshot detection, is a simple audio threshold used or analytics used, or is it a combination of both?
Combination.
Okay. Halo is not, the question was how Halo outdoor rated. It's not outdoor rated today. However, that is a roadmap item that we are looking into. Do you run the risk in the legal world for this being a medical device?
Not currently, no.
That hasn't come up yet, but if there's any concern or questions around that, please direct them to us and we'll certainly address.
Yeah, and our EULA and our privacy statement probably cover that in some pretty good depth as well.
All right, and then the last one I have on here, I have an original issued Halo. Does the Wi-Fi function built in or does it get added?
It's in there. So once you upgrade, once you upgrade to 2.0, you get Wi-Fi, and then 2.0 continues to support the Wi-Fi feature there.
So that's a quick last question for you, Jonathan. So if they're on 166 today, can they go right from 166 to 2.2?
Take the leap, go the whole way.
But everybody needs to be on 2.2.
Yeah, you don't need to upgrade incrementally. You can go from one to the
And I think that is the last question. If anyone else has any more that they want to pop into the chat feature, that was the last one.
So each one can be managed differently was a question that came in. Yes, you can actually take different halos within your same organization and use them for different purposes or uses. So you can have some measuring air quality and gunshot while others are doing vape or any combination thereof. So yes, each halo can be managed in its own way. Have whatever sensors uniquely on that one device you want.
Great. All right, so with that, I think that concludes today's webinar. I want to thank everyone for attending, and certainly reach out if you have any questions. Steve or Jonathan, any final words?
I want to thank everybody for hopping on. I really appreciate your time. Have a great week.
Same here. Enjoy. Glad you could make it and appreciate your time very much so. So thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. We look forward to hearing from you.
Have a great day.